Let's go.
At this point, after finishing the first layer, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to flip the cube over so that we can now work on these second layer edges in here. Alright, so to insert these edges into these spots, first we're going to find an edge that needs to go in these spots, and that will just be any edge that does not have blue on it, because blue will all go in the top in this case. So let's use this orange and white for example. So it's in the top layer. This is something that we want. So what we're going to do is we're going to take whatever color is on the front here, and we're just going to rotate it until it matches up like this in a line with this color here. Now we need to decide if it needs to go down here or down here. So for this case, this edge is actually going to go down here because orange and white, it will make this a continuous line through here. Alright, if you can make it through this part, I have faith in you. This is one of the longer algorithms, but this will just be what I call the right pairing here. So for this algorithm, we will have U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, F prime, U, F. As we can see, this edge has been inserted in here perfectly, and that's exactly what we wanted. So continuing to look along this top layer here, we're going to see this yellow-red, which also needs to go in this layer. So we are going to turn this top layer until this yellow is lined up. And we need to decide which way it's going to go. Does it go to the right? No, this is yellow-orange, so we don't want to put that there. Yellow-red, right in here. This is where we want it. So this will actually be a left pairing algorithm. And it's actually just a mirror of the last algorithm. But this is going to go in here. How we're going to do this is U prime, L prime, U, L, U, F, U prime, F prime. And as we see here, this edge has been inserted to the left, a little bit different than the one that was inserted on the right in our last pairing. Alright, so let's just keep working around the top. This is a blue, so we don't need to worry about that. This is a blue, we don't need to worry. Blue, yellow, and orange here. So this will be a right insertion, a right edge pairing. So we're going to follow the same algorithm. U, R, U prime, R prime, U prime, F prime, U, F. And that will get that edge in there. So let's take a look at the top layer. And what we'll actually see here is a weird situation because all of these edges are blue, which means that none of them goes in here. And the reason that is because it's in there already, it's just flipped the wrong way. So what's something we can do to deal with this? What I'm actually just going to do is use the algorithm we learned for putting this top edge in here, and then this will be kicked out up here, and then we can put it in the proper way. So let's apply this algorithm, and then this edge should be freed up. We're going to make sure that it's in a red line here so that it will be properly inserted this time instead of flipped. And we are going to do our left pairing just like that. And just like that, we have 2 layers of the 3x3 done. Alright, so you guys are rocking. You got 2 layers done. Let's get cracking on the top layer. So like I said here, the goal for this layer is going to be to get a blue cross on top here, or whatever color is opposite of your bottom on top here. So there's 4 situations we can have on top that we see. So in this case, we have a dot. The next case we have is an L like this. After that, we can also have a blue line like this, or finally we can have a blue cross like this, which is the goal. It's also important to note for this step, don't even worry about what color these are. If they're blue or not, it does not matter. We're just looking at this cross. So the good news is, all of these steps just require the same algorithm, and bad news is, this dot is the worst case, but the good news is this will go to the next case and the next case, so we're just going to walk through all of them. So if you see this dot, you're going to turn in this blue dot so it's on the top, and you're going to apply what I call the fruit algorithm in my notation video. It's going to be F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And just like that, we will have an L. Every time there's a dot, we will get an L from this. And so when we get the L, if you get the L, we're going to put it in the upper left corner, And we are going to do the same exact algorithm with this as the front now. So upper left corner is where we want this facing on the top. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. After that, we will always get a line. So you can just keep going. You'd always want your line just going left to right, not up and down. This is the front. F, R, U, R prime, U prime, F prime. And now we will have our top blue cross. Alright, so after this, our next goal will be to get the correct colors along here with the edges of our cross on top now. So we're going to rotate this top layer around just to see how many we can match up. So we got one here. Let's take a look around. We're looking for see if all of them can match up, or at least two of them. So we have another one here. So actually the situations we can get here are we have opposites that match up, and we can turn this. It'll be the same. We have opposites matching up every time. Or another situation we can get is that we will have two that match up, but they're right next to each other. This is the better situation than the opposites situation. And the final situation is obviously going to be where they're already done for us and we have all of these edges matching up with their proper colors. So let's go through the first situation. So the good news is, again, we are only going to need one algorithm for this step. And so if we have the first situation, which is the worst one, where we have colors that are opposite no matter which way we turn this, the most we can get are colors that are opposite to match up with their centers below this. We are just going to hold them left and right like this, and we are going to do the algorithm where this is the front and this left and right. Right, up, right inverted, R prime, up, R, two U's, and then R prime. And what this will get us is the situation where we can get, if we keep rotating the top, at least two next to each other like this. So what we're going to do when we get this situation is we're going to put one on the right and one in the back. And as long as this is our front here, we're going to do the same pattern. R, U, R prime, U, R, U2, R prime. And usually if we rotate this top once, we will get all of these edges lined up, and all that will need to be left to be addressed is these corners. So again, with the corners, there is multiple situations we can have. There's a situation where no corner is in its correct place. So being in its correct place would just mean that the blue, white, and red corner is right here. It doesn't have to be flipped so that blue's on top or the right way. It just has to be here. So that's our goal right now. So let's look around here. That's in the wrong place. That's in the wrong place. And this is in the wrong place. So this is the worst situation, but that's okay. This step only requires one algorithm. So for this algorithm, we're just going to choose any side to be our front, and our blue is on top. And we are going to do U, R, U prime, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, L. And this should get at least one corner in its correct place. So this is in its correct place and it's flipped its right way. So that's nice. And we have one. So this is our next best situation. And if we have this situation, what we're going to do is position it in the top right corner of this face here. And we are going to apply this algorithm again. And the effect of this will just be to rotate these corners back here so that they're in their correct positions. So let's do U, R, U prime, L prime, U, R prime, U prime, L. Let's take a look again, and we now have this one in the correct place, this one in the correct place, this one, and this one. So now we are ready for our final step to solve the... Alright, so the good news is we are about to solve the 3x3 cube, and the only algorithm that we need to know we have already used. We just got to make sure we don't mess everything up now, okay?
Talking about might save your life someday, okay?
Okay, Mr. Mackey, okay?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So, how we're going to fix these, rotate these the proper way, and sometimes all four of these will be they'll be flipped the wrong way, and that's fine. We just do the same exact thing here. You're going to choose a corner that's flipped the wrong way, so we can leave these two alone because they're already good. We're going to put it in the upper right, and we're going to do the algorithm that we already know. R prime, D prime, R, D. It's our corner flipping algorithm. So we're just going to keep doing it. R prime, D prime, R, D. Once it's flipped the right way, we always make sure we do our D at the end. This is why. We are then just going to rotate the top layer until this one that we need to fix is right above this spot here. So you're going to make sure you keep holding it like this the whole time. We're going to rotate, if we needed to fix this one, we would do the same process here. We're going to rotate this one here, and we are going to continue with our pattern. R prime, D prime, R, D. R prime, D prime, R, D. We're just going to keep continuing this. We always remember the D, and you guys will notice that if you just rotate the top layer, we will now have solved the Rubik's Cube. Congrats, guys. Alright guys, I think you did awesome. If you're just watching this through before you even get a cube and experimenting with it, I imagine that you're a bit confused. I'm going to post these algorithms in the description so you'll be able to follow along with what I did, but I covered every situation you can run into. Basically, like I said, just stick with it and always continue to just keep working the algorithm the way that it's meant to be worked and the way that I explained it in the video. At the end there, sometimes you'll have 4 corners that are all messed up. You just do it the same way. You just keep rotating it to the same spot. You make sure you hold it like this. You just repeat the whole pattern, then you just rotate to the next one. So what I'm actually going to do now is I'm going to scramble it up. I'm not going to read the algorithms aloud, but I'm going to kind of walk through it so we have a different perspective, and we'll go from there.
Eat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up, beat 'em up. I got Reese's Puffs in my bowl. Nowadays on cruise control. I got Reese's Puffs in my bowl.